Okay, so today we're going to work on the green part, the trees and flowers here in the pots. So I have here Sap Green. This is, both of them are Sap Green. Yellow Ochre, Cadmium Yellow Light or Cadmium Yellow Medium, whatever you have. Any blue. I have Cobalt Blue, but Ultramarine Blue is fine and Cerulean Blue is fine. We're just going to add some blue at one point to the green so we don't have too much the same color everywhere, and white. Okay, so I'm going to start with a kind of a medium tone. So I have dark. We have a dark color right now, dark green. And we're going to do a medium tone color now. So I'm going to take the Sap Green, some Sap Green from here. Take some more. Take a touch of Yellow Ochre in it. So it kind of changed, it would change the color a bit, not much, just a bit. And I'm going to take yellow, cadmium yellow. Not too much, just enough to make it kind of a medium tone. So if you put it on and you see that it's too bright, that means it's too much. But if you put it on and see, that's good. That's not too bright. That's good. So what I'm going to do is add with the corner of my brush, before I highlight, I'm just going to dab some green in here. It should dry darker, and it will dry darker, and we want this to dry darker. I'm going to give this as well. This part. We don't want to, lose all of the darks, of course, because we lose depth. So we're going to keep everything kind of mid-tone, where you see some of the darks in between. This is going to come down this way, maybe on an angle. If your brush is too big, you're getting like a big kind of blobs of color, then switch your brush to a smaller one. That means your brush is too big. That's medium tone, okay? So this is kind of one tree. We can keep on doing the same color and come down here. Disperse your leaves a bit at the bottom. Now, I'm going to take some of this cobalt blue into the same mixture of green I'm using. If you want, don't take the whole thing in, just kind of part of it. And you can see this is more yellow, and this is going to turn into more blue. blue-green. And let's give the bottom part, put at the bottom and over the wall, hanging kind of over the wall here, some more of the bluish tone, green. This is mid-tone, okay? We're not doing now highlights, it's mid-tone. I'm gonna bring some in here too, like where the awning is. That will soften the awning a bit. There's like too much fabric in here. Okay, it doesn't have to be all the way, just part of it is fine. Okay, I'm gonna clean my brush and I'll give you some time to do this and then we'll come back. I also want to, actually before I pause recording, let's take some of the other mid-tone that we're using on the tree. I'm just adjusting a bit here. Let's take some of this mid-tone and put it on this windowsill, like the flower, the paint, plant on the windowsill. And also, let's give this as well these spots. Last week we put the dark green and now we're putting mid-tone green. Think about where the light is coming from and mostly you will see the highlighted part, the top part and the bottom part is usually darker in the flower pot. We're going to put flowers in here eventually, so it should be okay. And some here. Okay, so I highlighted mid-tone all of the pots. Now we'll wait for it to dry and we'll come back and we'll start highlighting again. All right, so now we added a bit of yellow to the green we were using, and I'm using a smaller brush. And with the corner of my brush, I'm going to give this kind of over some of the darks. I'm going to give some highlights there. This is kind of the, I would say, third layer, because we have the dark, medium, and now we're highlighting, and there's one more layer to come. So when I highlight, I use a smaller brush because the more white or highlight you put, the less the less brush strokes. Because highlights usually, if you add too much highlights, you lose depth. It's flat, it becomes flat. So always have to make sure that when you're highlighting, you are keeping some of the dark and the medium tone showing through. And if you, by mistake, cover a lot, then go back and add darks or medium tone. And highlights also advance. So whatever you're putting in there, you're pushing those leaves forward. Corner of a small brush. Although I'm dabbing, but I'm not dabbing, I'm dabbing in cluster kind of. And this cluster should stay organic. So keep an eye on the cluster, the dabbing you're doing, because then you don't want to end up with perfect geometric shapes. And it's very hard. It's easy for me to say that, but it's really hard to do. I know. Some of these highlights I'm putting in here, are kind of not too defined. Some of them are kind of, usually what I do is I turn my brush around and I use the corner and I dab. But sometimes what I do also is I take the brush and go flat and I dab with the flat part. You don't want all of them to be the same shape, the same texture, the same intensity. You want some of them to be strong, dabbing, kind of point, like leaves, you can see them, and some of them are like a hint. Okay. We're starting to see a very nice kind of texture and highlights, and I will wait for it to dry a bit and then we will continue adding more highlights. Now, since I've done, I'm using highlights, I'm doing highlights, I am going to highlight these as well. Okay, so again, top part, this is where the light hits. We're going to do that. And also down here. We're going to put flowers in here, different colors. Okay, now since I'm doing this, I'm just going to take a bit of green again, medium tone, highlight, doesn't matter, and just kind of put a couple on the ground like we used to do. We do that usually when we're doing, we're doing flower shop and we're putting flowers. We put some of this green. It's on the ground. It kind of connects the pots to whatever is in the pot. Okay. I'm going to pause. All right, so we're going to highlight this part. And what I'm going to do is just for fun. It's not, we don't really have to, but just kind of, why not? I took some Sap Green and some Cobalt Blue, and instead of adding white to highlight it, I added white. Instead of adding yellow to highlight it, I added white. Because if you add yellow, then you will turn it into this green right there. And I don't want that. I want a bluish green. So I'm just adding white, and I'm just going to do these here, those ones here. I'll show you. We're going to put some pink flowers, hanging flowers on this fence. So just for now, the green of these flowers, let's do them in kind of a bluish tone. Not much. We don't have to put much. And I tried to do the same over the awning, but it didn't look good because the awning is blue and this is a blue kind of. I don't think it's going to work that well. So I'm just going to go back to sap green and yellow. And some yellow ochre in here. And highlight the leaves over the awning. And we're going to put some, on this awning, we're going to put some pink flowers as well, because I think pink will look really nice with blue. All right. Now, before we do anything, I'm just going to go back to the tree and take some of this light green and do a couple of very light green with, I'm going to add some yellow ochre. So sap green, cadmium yellow light, bit of white, and yellow ochre. And you see your green looks more, it will look a bit more earthy. Don't have to put it everywhere, just a couple here and there. Just to bring the green forward. Trying my best not to have a shape that looks like a round, perfect round circle. That's good. We don't have to highlight everything. Just highlight this a bit, because these are like the part where it catches most of the sun, the light. There's nothing wrong with adding a couple of floating leaves over the awning. That gives it movement and energy. All right, let's highlight a bit those ones as well. Just the ones around the door. The three pots around the door. Keep those darker right here. Now, do you want me to pause a bit?
No.
We're good? Can I continue?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to take, at this point, red. Cadmium Red Light. And also some raw umber. Touch of raw umber. Now, I'm going to take, I'll work on the pots at the bottom and take some of the red. Now we could use some of the green, and this green, any green I have, and put it in. That will tone down my red. Or I can put some raw umber, but you see how this red became more earthy. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing opposite colors on the color wheel. And for the first layer, I'm going to put a couple in here, not all of them, and one here. This is the one that's in the at the entrance, so it takes your eye straight to the entrance. I think that's enough. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, cadmium red light, and make an orange. And also with this orange, I'm going to take some of this red, put it in this orange to tone down the orange. Okay, I'm making it earthy, an earth tone. So I'm going to put the orange here. Okay. We can put purple on that one here. That will look really nice. Or we can just go back to red. And I'm going to take a little bit of raw umber, put it in this red. Again, I'm making my red kind of earthy. And now I'm going to take white. So kind of pink. And I'm going to take a little bit of raw umber, put it in this pink. This is first layer. So if you see that this is kind of kind of not the usual pink, because this is the first layer. Okay, I'm making an earthy colored pink, so I'm going to take more white, because this is going to dry darker. I'll put some pink in here on the fence. So I'm going to put some pink in here. And also here. I don't want to put too many colors. Change like too many colors. This is good. Let's put some pink on the ground. And let's go in here and add some pink. Jeez, that's a lot of flowers. Okay. Okay, now we still have this over here. And just kind of to draw the attention to this part, let's see, try to put kind of like a salmon color. Let's see if this works. So I'm using yellow ochre and cadmium red light. And I'm going to put white with this. This gives just kind of like a salmon-y color. Okay, good. Not too many, just a couple. And we're good. Now, the next step is to highlight all of these colors. So I'm going to take red, mix it a bit with the salmon color that I did, but I'm pulling in more red, kind of strong red, and I'm going to highlight some of these flowers in the pots and here. More white into the pink. really like a really pink, but don't forget that this pink has raw umber in it, so kind of it's toned down, earthy pink. And I'm just going to highlight the pink that I put in here. I'll have more because I know it's going to dry darker. Okay, this is good. This should be enough. Yeah. It will dry darker. And even if it doesn't dry darker, and you find that when it's dry, it's too light, and you would like to tone it down a bit, just glaze it again. Use the same colors, pink, darker pink, and go over. Or just kind of without glazing, just kind of thick paint, just go over it a couple of times. Here, let me adjust the exposure here, make it, because the camera shows the color, shows a very bright color. Okay. Okay, we don't want to draw too much attention to the flowers over the canopy. So I might add some green later on, especially this part here, which is right there. It's heavy. I'm going to tone it down a bit. Let's take some of this pink, put some here. And also, this is looking a little bit too strong right there, too light. So I'm going to tone it down. To tone it down, I'm going to use green, because green is a cool color. And it will kind of, I'm going just to go in and soften a bit the pink. It's too much pink in here. And this will show you how I usually adjust anything that doesn't look good to me. It's only paint, so it's awesome. Just go in, put some green. That makes it much better. That looks much better. And also here, same. Just gonna put some more green in here. Let's take a bit of dark green, pink, some pink from here, and go over the light pink, and kind of some of it, not all of it, some parts, and here too. This looks kind of lost in here because this is red and the color behind it is orange, so you don't see it. So I'm just going to highlight it. I'm just going to put a couple of dots of green in here. I'm sorry, pink. I mean pink, not green, pink. That's better. Now, this is looking very busy, and it's enough. We don't want to put too much. Just a couple of these little things, kind of. because if we put too much, then it will take away from the rest of the painting. It would be too overwhelming. I think we're good. We don't need more than that. All right, I'm going to stop recording.
Leo, how did you make that very light pink? I didn't write that down.
Just add white. Oh, it's Cadmium Red Light. And I added raw umber to Cadmium Red Light and white.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to add a light here on this wall. So I'm going to take half measurements, kind of half of this wall, kind of in the center. Doesn't have to be exactly in the center. That's good. And I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to draw a line. Then I'm going to kind of a triangle. Let's say a triangle. I don't know, it's not a triangle. This shape. Then I'm going to bring it down this way. Simple. Down to this side. And we're good. Small brush. I'm working on an 8x10, so I'm really working on very small canvas. I'm going to have here, I'm going to use the raw umber I have with a small round brush. I'm going to put enough water in my paint so it doesn't blob and I have a good flow. And just kind of put this in right there. Not a lot of detail. This is enough, more than enough. It's really a small area. And down here as well, one line, dot, kind of one line there. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to put some light inside. So for the light, I'm going to take white, cadmium yellow light, tiny touch of red, kind of like a light orange. Gonna paint this part in this color, and I'm just going to take at this point just white and put a light, strong white in the center. Now we can, if we want, put a light color like the, what is it called, around the actual lantern, some of this yellow around. Would you like to do this, or shall I just keep it? I mean, I can show you and you don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll show you how it's done. I'm going to take yellow and put some white in my yellow, mix the same orange that I had here but with more yellow and more white, and make it into a nice kind of glaze. And I'm gonna glaze I just glazed around kind of a light. I'll wait for it to dry because I don't want to touch it right now, and then I'll glaze it one more time. Now I mentioned that we can. What time is it? Okay. I'm gonna leave it for now. Next week we will work on the chairs and the table, put some, maybe a pot on the table, and adjust all of this. This is heavy, so I'm gonna adjust it and adjust this part next week, and then we will choose a new project. Actually, we can choose it right now. I'm just going to pause. Let me see, maybe this is dry. Okay, let's do this before I pause. One more layer of this highlight. Let's take that, more white into this yellow, and just give it again another kind of stronger let's take a bit of orange. I mean, the light looks yellower next to the bulb, but when you go away, it looks more orange. When you're further away from the bulb, it's not the same intensity. And this is really up to you. If you don't want to put it, no problem. I'm going to pause. Okay, so we're done for this week. Next week, we will adjust some of the flowers, the colors, add, work on the chairs and the table, and maybe add something in this corner right here.